Atelier, it's working! Hooray! Jen is watching. Oh my goodness. Jen was the editor on this book. Oh, awesome. Hi, everybody. So, yeah, welcome to the Writers Atelier live stream. Jessica, hello! Perfect. How is the audio? Is it okay? Does it need work? Is it adequate? Hi, Colleen! Raquel is watching. Megan is watching. Oh my goodness. I probably shouldn't just announce who's watching. I should probably just be like, be cool. This is me being cool. Audio sounds great. Perfect. That is the last thing I was worried about. Good. Yeah, scrambled around trying to figure out a good place to film today. I moved plants into the background just to try to be interesting and cool. All right, so I guess I should introduce myself. Hi, everybody. My name is Paige Lavoie. I am a young adult author from Orlando, Florida, and I'm a part of the Writers Atelier community. Kaylee, hi. Yeah, I normally do the motivational minutes over on the Writers Atelier channel where I try to add a little happy, inspirational vibes to everybody's Monday, try to inspire us all to keep writing, and it's been a weird, strange time that we've all been in recently, so I hope that you are taking care of yourselves. I hope that you are finding relaxation, rest, and diving into some new hobbies, whether they are old interests or exciting things that you've always been wanting to try. There will be a delay in when we hear versus when you see the responses. Love the plants! I'm in and out of the other tabs, so I'm listening. Awesome. Okay, good to know. So, because I was trying to think of what would be a good thing to read today, and that's why I landed on Confidence. This is my first novel, and I was on the phone with my sister earlier, and she referred to it as the bop of my books. So it's the classic. It's a little bit goofy, it's a little silly, but you know, it's got to make an appearance every once in a while, and truly I do love this book. Barbara Jenkins, the main character, is so much of who I was at the time I was writing it, and I mean, still, I have a tendency to be a big old awkward mess, so I feel this book at the bottom of my heart, and I'm excited to share it with you a little bit today. Before we get started, I do want to say a giant thank you to Writers Atelier for organizing this. They are a wonderful writing community in Orlando, Florida. And I really, really, really want to encourage you to check out the Patreon. I believe there are tiers that start at $1. Raquel, I think you're in the comments. If I'm incorrect, please let me know. But yeah, I mean, $1, $5, it's a small business, and it's honestly such a wonderful place for all of us writers, whether you are in Orlando or not, to come together, to encourage each other, to shout out each other's books, and to make lifelong friendships, and I love it so much. So I encourage you to check out Writers Atelier, to support them, to support all of the authors, and there are a ton of events like this. I believe there's a children's book reading tomorrow around 3, so if you're at home with your kiddos, that would be a good thing to tune into, add it to your homeschool. Hi, everybody. Well, I guess it would probably be a good time to start reading. I'm not sure. I assume questions are normally a thing that happen at the end. But a little bit about this book, I guess, first. Hi, Paige from Aunt Patty, Charlie, Grandma, and Grandpa! You're watching and you're 6 feet apart. I'm so glad. Aw, hi Aunt Ruth. My family's here, you guys. Sierra, I'm so excited. Aw. Well, I'm just gonna take a moment to swoon over everyone in the comments before I actually start reading. Aw, hey Grandma and Grandpa. And also my aunts and uncles, but particularly hugs to my grandma and grandpa, because I'm glad that you're able to tune in. I mean, everyone gets hugs. I'm not gonna be mean. All the love and support. Aw, aw. Okay. Well, now that I can literally feel the blush on my face, maybe, I guess, we should dive into the book a little bit. So if you would like to get a copy of Confidence, the ebook is 99 cents starting today until Monday probably is when I'm gonna end it. I figured I'd keep it going through the weekend. Hi, Tom! Oh my goodness! Hope you're doing well. Oh my goodness, so many friends, both new and old. Alright. So I guess, I keep saying I guess, I keep being like, I guess maybe we should get started? I don't know. We should probably get started. So this is a diary style novel. It was inspired by my love of fandom and friendship and a lot of frozen pizza. I wrote it during NaNoWriMo, so that, if you're not familiar, is where you literally write the first draft of a manuscript in a month. So it was one of those things that I was very like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna write my first book. And then I, towards the end, started losing interest. I definitely was beating myself up. I'm like, no one's gonna want to read this. It's not good. Why am I even trying? And I think there was something about the healthy competition of seeing a bunch of other friends hit 50K, where it was the day before, I literally was like, if I don't do this today, I don't know when I'm ever gonna do it. And I sat down and I wrote 10,000 words in a day. And yeah, that it was, I'm so glad for communities like NaNoWriMo, and Writers Atelier does a lot with those events as well. So that is how this book kind of got started, and I guess let's do the reading. Okay, so we're gonna start at chapter 1. Actually, is there a dedication in here? Yeah. For anyone who's ever felt invisible. And if you have any questions, I am not going to be able to see them while I'm reading, but save them up for the end. And I would love, once I am able to look back at the screen. Wait, let me see if there's a scroll function. There is a scroll function, so feel free to leave your questions as you have them, and I will go through and read them at the end. And I'm excited to hear from you. Okay, so chapter 1. Just another boring school year. Right? Right? Sunday, September 1st. Hi, diary. What's up? Oh gosh, how lonely / pathetic am I to actually ask you that? Excuse me while I go hide in a dark corner, out of shame while I finish this entry. How do these things normally start off anyway? I mean, I guess I'll introduce myself to you, my dearest faceless booklet of paper. I'm Barbara Jenkins. My mom named me after the first Batgirl, Barbara Gordon. How cool is that, right? She was super into that cheesy TV show from the 70s, but like, I don't fight crime or drive a sweet motorcycle or have a super catchy theme song. Batgirl, Batgirl, where do you go? What's the scene, baby? We gotta know. No, I'm just a 10th grader. I do kind of have one superpower, though. I'm invisible. Okay, well, like, not really. But it would be really awesome if I was, right? I'd sneak into the comic book shop. I'd read all the new releases in the back before they hit the shelves. I'd have all the knowledge and the power. I'd be invincible. Wahahaha! But instead of using my power for evil and starting a blog filled with spoilers, I'd use my powers for good. Starting with winning the heart of the dreamboat who works behind the counter. He'd practically throw himself at me and my superior superhero comic book knowledge. But for now, I guess maybe I'll just stop in after school again today. I've been secretly packing my lunches in my bag and asking my mom for lunch money so that I can buy books this Friday. It's so awkward just running into the store after school to loiter. I wander aimlessly, I flip through the pages of issues I can't afford, and then I walk into the back, normally, and oogle the huge books about inking and shading. Someday, after I graduate, I want to be an inker for one of the big shot companies. Even though I'm named after Batgirl, I wish I could work at Marvel Comics. Partly because I have this fantasy that my dad is Stan the Man Lee, his illegitimate son, and Stan has secretly been my grandfather for all of these years. What? It could happen. It's more realistic than the theory about my dad being a real-life Bruce Banner. He left when I was 2, because he needed to learn to control his Hulk powers before he could be a loving husband and a father again. But he misses us a lot and watches from afar. He secretly keeps scaring off my mom's dates and is very disappointed in my failing grades in science. But someday he's going to come back, and when he does, we can all be a family again. Going back to the whole being invisible thing, no one really notices me at school. People I've been going to school with since elementary don't even remember me. My life is so boring, I almost want to lie to you, diary. I almost want to tell you about the space aliens I fought off, or how I was raised by a tribe of werewolves living in an enchanted forest. But for now, I guess I'll just make a sandwich. Hugs and gamma rays, Barb. P.S. I was just kidding about the gamma rays. That crap will mess you up. Monday, September 2nd. Diary. Today is so boring. I can't even explain it. I woke up late and rushed to homeroom. No matter how old I am, it seems like I'm always late for the first day of school. Always. Of course, this year wasn't any different. I was assigned to the ever-boring Grumpy Pants, Mr. Trinkle, this year, for homeroom. He gave me his signature stink eye as I snuck into the room and told me I'd have to stay late and help do something. Wait, hang on. And I'm not wearing my glasses because they cause a glare, and that's not helping with the reading, let me just say. I have to stay late and help clean out the AV Club's supply closet. We got there. Just because he's the advisor of the club doesn't mean he should be able to enlist the students to do his dirty work. Still, I guess it's better than detention. Most clubs are just setting up sign-ups this time of year, but I guess for them it's different. No one new ever signs up for AV Club. It seems like everything is snapped right back where it left off at the beginning of summer. In gym class, some new popular girls decided to play a prank on our cool new transfer student, Cassie. She's really pretty and has wild, long purple pastel hair that makes her look like an elf princess. Now, they already all hate her because their boyfriends and crushes are all inviting her to cool parties and stuff on the first day. I heard a whisper that after her first 3 classes, she already has a stack of phone numbers in her pocket from the cutest guys in school. Apparently she was homeschooled before. I always thought homeschoolers were like sheltered and socially inept like me, but she seems to have all the charisma of a rock star. I mean, it's almost like she has a glow around her whenever she walks into a room. I almost can't blame them for hating her. She's the kind of girl that the doctor would pick to time travel with him in his police box. He'd hold out his hands, look back at her, and say, "Run!" And she'd go on wild adventures through time with him and win his heart, and they'd probably have adorable Time Lord babies. Oh God, I think I hate her too. Anyways, the popular girls are Brittany, Beth, and Bet. They call themselves the 3 Bs, which I really think stands for Beauty, Brains, and Badonkadonk. Seriously, Bet is a hot mess. I can't even get into it. Barbara, that's mean. Can I just say Barbara's being mean here? They decided it would be funny to hide Cassie's regular clothes while she was in the shower, so she spent the rest of the day trapped in her gym shorts and baggy Woodsboro High t-shirt. Without missing a beat, she got out her purse and took out a pair of knee-high socks. Why did she have them in there in the first place? The world may never know. She tied her hair in pigtails using the hair clips using her hair clips and bounced out of the locker room. Not a frack was given. I'm just glad it wasn't me. I'm a sweater. I would have had to spend the entire day with pit stains, the stot. Wait. I can't believe I wrote this. That's really... Sorry. I haven't read this book in a while, and I'm like, did I really write pit stains the size of the bat cave? Is that a thing that I wrote? It is. Does that make sense? It doesn't. But whatever, I'm rolling with it. Anyways, I'm at lunch right now, sitting with my secret PB&J in the corner of the library, my go-to place for eating lunch without the grand stress of choosing a table at the lunchroom to sit at. Eating here is easier and quiet, and I can draw as much as I want without people peering over my shoulder. But I have to go soon. Bio is my next class, and they're assigning lab partners for the next quarter today. I hope the teacher assigns them and it's not a free-for-all choose your partner thing. I was already picked last in gym class today. See you in study hall. XO, Barb. Very visual. Hi, honey. My husband is watching. Hi. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm going to take a sip of water real fast and catch my breath after the giggle attack. And let me scroll up to see if I've missed anything. Carrie says hi. All right, let me see. I figured I would read the first chapter, but I couldn't remember how long the first chapter was, but it's doable. We can do that. We can do that together as a team. And yeah. Pit stains the size of the bat cave. All right. Study hall. My lab partner is Bet. Bet the badonkadonk. Great. She probably thinks I'm good at bio because I have classes. Boy, is she in for a surprise. The teacher, Mrs. Brown, listed all the animals we're supposed to dissect this quarter. I don't think I'm going to be able to stomach it. I'm a vegetarian pacifist. I can't do that. Especially not with her as my partner, making me do all of the work. I'm in study hall now, avoiding my homework and sketching instead. If I'm ever going to be a world-class inker, I need to get my practice in now. Math can wait. It's weird though. I keep finding myself drawing the new girl, with her purple hair flying all around her, while she strikes the final blow on the evil 3Bs using her dreaded roundhouse kick. She really does look like a comic book hero. After school. So, it turns out that the helping that... I keep getting tongue-tied. Professional. Poised. Glamour. So it turns out that helping clean the AV closet really meant, hey Barbara, clean this whole closet yourself while the club members and I have a meeting. Thanks a lot, Mr. Trinkle. You know how there are always the cool kids in every subculture? Well, that's these kids. Nerd royalty at our school. Everyone sitting alone in the corner wants to be them. To have a group of friends to geek out with about the latest episode of Adventure Time, or Doctor Who, and to do the lawnmower and the chicken dance with in the middle of the pit of grinding at school dances. They always look like they're having so much fun, and even when they get picked on, at least they have each other. I want to be a part of their group, but honestly, I don't think they'd want me. They're like the cool nerds who code websites and do crazy group cosplays and write game reviews. And I'm just a loser who still plays with Pokemon cards. I almost choked on my gum when Cassie walked in to join them. Andy, the tall, lanky leader of the group, stood up the moment she entered the room. It was as if she was their queen. She could hang out with anyone in the school. I mean, sure, I want to be friends with the AV club, but why would she? Maybe it's because they kind of seem to worship her. Andy pulled up a chair for the pastel queen and might as well bowed to her and said, "Your Highness." Talked about filming a video for homecoming, where the lights should be set up, who should be stationed where. For something so boring, they seem to be surprisingly amped up. But even through all their enthusiasm, something seemed off, like they were hiding something. I even caught Cassie passing a note to Andy when no one was looking. Maybe they like each other or something. Weird. Still, I wish I had something to add to the conversation instead of rolling up cables in the closet. The meeting concluded and I was still cleaning up, which sucked. There was still so much to do. "You can head home now, Miss Jenkins," Mr. Trinkle told me blankly. "You can finish up the rest of this mess tomorrow." I wanted to scream at him and tell him how unfair he was being, instead I just murmured, "Okay," and walked slim shoulders out the door. I didn't even have the guts to be rebellious and say something like, "Whatever," and stomp out of the room. I bet Cassie would do that. So now I'm home. My mom is calling me for dinner. She actually cooked tonight, a vegetarian meatloaf. Not gonna lie, the last time she made this specialty, it tasted a lot like cat food. I'm not trying to complain too much though. At least she's trying. Tuesday, September 3rd. Why is math so hard? It's only like the second day of school and we're already looking for X and Y. The only X and Y I want to be searching for are in my Pokemon game. Barbara out. Wednesday, September 4th. Ugh, I'm sitting behind a guy who smells like ham. Wednesday, September 4th. Ugh, I'm sitting behind a guy who smells like ham and farts in English class. The school year is looking promising. Thursday, September 5th. It's official. I am too boring of a person to keep a journal. I'm not worthy of your finely bound pages. It's Friday! Oh, that was probably terrible in all of your speakers. I'm so sorry. It's Friday. It's Friday. And even though I know I won't be able to make it to the comic book shop today, I'll definitely be able to go after dance class tomorrow. Score. I wonder if I should wear something cute. Maybe I could try to put on makeup? Or maybe the dream guy likes more of a natural beauty. I'll watch some tutorials later just in case. I'm hopeless when it comes to that sort of thing. So far, today has been meh. Mom packed me some leftover meatless meatloaf for lunch, and I swear, she makes enough to feed an army, and my stomach is less than pleased. I'm debating on dipping into my comic fund to buy some French fries from the cafeteria during lunch. Even though I know in my heart I should resist. I'm dying to get that new art book. Right now, I'm in study hall. Most of the day has already flown by. As usual, nothing exciting has happened. Nothing. In an hour, I'll be staying after school and watching the AV club have fun while I'm stuck in a closet organizing their crap. Wow. I've gone from excited to bummed out within minutes. Maybe at least I'll spend tonight watching Netflix and drawing. Maybe Mom and I could even get a pizza? Okay, I'm happy again. After school. Well, there was pizza. But surprisingly enough, that wasn't the best part of my day. I'm sitting here, in my bed, trying to figure out what the heck just happened. I was turning the corner to get to the AV room when suddenly someone slammed into me. My sketchbook went flying. Paper rained down on us. I went hurtling to the ground. My My glasses flopped off my face. "Geez, Cass, walk much?" A guy's voice said. It sounded familiar, but all I could see were two faceless blobs in front of me. And then it set in. Cass, as in Cassie, the geek goddess herself. She's the one who ran into me. Squinting, frantically, I recognized the tall figure of Andy helping me off the ground. "Oh my gosh, are you okay? I'm so sorry." She rushed over and extended her perfectly manicured hand to help me off the ground. I freaked out and started apologizing to her, feeling awkward and uncomfortable. How am I supposed to talk to her? I looked around for my glasses and became instantly upset when I saw Andy was holding them. As I squinted over at him, Wait. I lost my spot again. There it is. I looked around for my glasses and I became instantly upset when I saw Andy was holding them. As I squinted over at him, I was glad when he reached his hand out to hand them to me. I put them on quickly, my eyes focused on the two people in front of me, as I continued to sputter out apologies, wanting nothing more than to flee this awkward situation. "She crashed into you," Andy interrupted, looking confused. I tend to be the type to avoid eye contact with people. It just makes me feel uncomfortable. But as my eyes looked into his, I realized Andy was kind of foxy. Not in like an obvious Thor God of Thunder way, more in a socially awkward Peter Parker way. He has this mass of messy, curly hair and huge glasses that cover his light blue eyes. Standing next to Cassie, he looked like one half of a perfect, quirky indie couple. They'd go see foreign films on the weekends, sit at an outdoor cafe drinking fancy cappuccinos with cats designed into the foam, and wear super ironic, tacky Christmas sweaters when it got cold out. I don't think they're dating, but I can't stop shipping them together ever since I imagined it. My eyes widened when I realized how long I'd been just standing there, staring at them, picturing their flawless life together. Maybe Cassie could tell I was on. Dust in my throat. Dust in my throat. Dust in my throat. Okay. Maybe Cassie could tell I was uncomfortable because she looked over at Andy, suggesting he go on without her, and began helping me pick up my drawings outside the AV room. "Are these yours?" she asked, holding up some of my sketches. I snatched them away quickly. They weren't done. And even though it was really nice of her to help me pick them up, they were personal and embarrassing. "Wow, this one is so cool," she said, holding up a pinup-inspired drawing that I'd done. "Thanks," I said quietly. And then I remembered the drawing I did earlier in study hall. I began scrambling around, picking up my scattered papers more and more quickly than before. If she found them, I would be a laughingstock. But of course she did. She picked up the paper and her jaw dropped before she looked over at me. "She looks like me," she said, her eyes returning to the paper. No way. That is silly. I drew that like forever ago." Her eyes narrowed at me. "You know, I hate liars." Oh my God, why is this happening to me? "What are you doing after school?" she asked. Nothing." "Good," she replied with a smile, "because I'm coming over." She met me in the front of the school after AV club, and I wasn't sure how I was going to get myself out of this mess. I couldn't hang out with a girl like Cassie. What would we even talk about? What would we even do? A million excuses swirled around my head. I tried hard to think of the perfect one, something to make her realize that this was a terrible idea. "My room isn't clean," I said. She shrugs her shoulders. We have a cat. Are you allergic to cats? A lot of people are allergic to cats. Nope, I love cats. I can stay late. My dad is probably working like crazy hours again. Late? How late was late? I started to get a strong feeling that this was going to severely eat into my Tumblr time. I wanted to ask about her dad. What did he do? I imagined it was something really cool and artsy, but my tongue felt like it was trapped inside my mouth. Talking to someone like her is too nerve-wracking. My house is within walking distance from school. It's a really simple 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom bungalow. I walked next to her, wondering if she'd make fun of me for the size of it, or how our grass was so long that wild Pokemon could attack us on the journey up from the sidewalk at any given moment. But Cassie didn't say anything. She just followed me inside and set her book bag down next to mine. Cute place, she said, taking a look around. I wondered if she really meant it or if she was just being polite. Sorry, I hope that's not my phone vibrating, because if it is, you're gonna like hear terrible sounds every time that happens. No, it shouldn't be. It's hopefully fine. Are you hearing like a every once in a while? I'll wait. Oh, no, it's a different phone. Everything is fine. Sorry for the interruption. Okay, back to Barbara's house. Nope, okay, thank goodness. I'm so glad. Cute place. I wondered if she really meant it, or if she was just being polite. It's kind of cutesy. It belonged to my grandparents before, and my mom still hasn't bothered to change out all the retro 1970s decor, complete with shag carpets. So what should we do first? Cassie asked. Why is she asking me? Oh my gosh, so much pressure. I haven't even offered her a soda or a water yet. What a crappy host. So I went and I got 2 Mountain Lightnings. My mom never buys the brand name out of the fridge. Normally I just scroll around on Tumblr or watch Netflix and draw. I thought out loud. Could I ask you a favor? She asked. Her eyes had a slight twinkle in them, and I knew she was coming up with something ridiculous to ask. I figured it had to be something to do with math homework. Everyone always assumes the bigger your glasses are, the better you are at math homework. I swear, it's the only reason my classmates ever talk to me most of the time. Look, Cassie, I'm really sorry because I know you're a new student and all, but I really don't have time to tutor you or anything. My grades aren't even that good. She began to laugh, cracking into her can of soda. Oh, well, it's not homework. I want you to draw something for me. Can you believe this, girl? I'm coming over your house. Draw me things. Jeez. I wonder if all pretty girls are this difficult. Anyways, after about a half hour of my protesting, she managed to convince me. It'll be fun. I agreed. She wants a logo designed, but when I asked for what it was for, she got all weird and quiet. All I know is she wants it to be of her as a superhero. Apparently she thought my sketches were really neat. The only specification she gave is that she wants a crown on her head, so she knows she's a freaking princess. Still, I can't help but wonder what it's for. We did some rough sketches and brainstorming together, and actually the more we hung out, the more I started to loosen up a little bit. It's still really hard to talk to her though. I'm just not sure what's okay to say and what's not. I found myself just staring at her light purple hair. How do you get it to do that? I asked. She looked confused for a minute, then said, I drink unicorn tears. Cassie might be my new favorite person ever. She stayed over for pizza and her dad picked her up about an hour ago. I know she's probably only hanging out with me, so I'll do her this favor. But I kind of hope we'll become friends. Whatever the case, I'm bringing my sketches to school on Monday to show her. She told me to meet her in the AV club after hours. Weird, but whatever. I think it's time for me to turn in. I have dance class early tomorrow, and I don't want to be late again. Wait, I don't hear anything. You're good. Sounds good. They're doing construction next door. They've been doing lawn work for the last couple hours over here, and I was pretty convinced that there was just going to be a lot of leaf blowers in the background during this whole reading. Okay, let's see. We have 5 pages left in this first chapter. And we're still good on time. I wanted to make sure there was time for Q&A afterwards, but it's a pretty short chapter, so I think we're doing all right. Sometimes the things Barbara says, I'm just like, I'm gonna have to read that. Okay, good. Saturday, September 7th. Diary. What the heck is with my luck? Today sucked eggs, let me tell you. First off, though, I wasn't late for dance. My mom woke me up early and practically forced green juice down my throat. She's on one of her health kicks again, and she insisted it would balance out the pizza we just ate last night. Until she figures out a way to make green juice that tastes like pizza, I seriously don't want any part of it. It tasted like a glass of celery and death. So I gulped down a glass of that garbage and I went and changed into my uniform. Did I mention that this isn't an ordinary dance class? Oh no, because that would be socially acceptable. I'm in a traditional Polish dance class, so I have to spend my Saturday mornings gallivanting around in a big folky dress, doing the polka, hop, step, step, hop, step, step. And I'm not even Polish. My mom signed me up in middle school because she thought it'd be a creative outlet and help me get socialized and keep me off drugs. I wouldn't have started taking them anyways, Mom. Jeez. So we practiced our dance for the festival in town. I tripped over my skirt and my flower crown kept falling off. Mrs. Jenkins yelled in the background that we have to shape up before the performance, all while having her eyes locked on me. I'm not sure why she pretends to be talking to the whole class every single time. I always see my classmates exchanging glances, then looking towards me. Everyone knows who she's talking about, and honestly, I'm not sure why she bothers. I'll just pretend to be sick again like I did last year, and the year before that. The only time I actually performed was mortifying. I tripped over one of the other girls, and we both fell into the sausage stuffing station. Seriously, you couldn't make up this stuff if you tried. All I remember is drowning my sorrows in a pile of pierogies, and that part of the day was delicious enough not to be blocked out forever. It doesn't help that the ever graceful and perfect in Mrs. Jenkins' eyes, Badonkadonk, is in the same class. She's not Polish either, but she's elegant and beautiful and will never, ever, ever let me live down the horrors of the summer of 2006. If it were all to happen again, I'd take her down with me. After I poked my butt off, I waited outside for my mom to pick me up. The other girls had already changed into their street clothes and headed to the mall. Even if I had been invited, I wouldn't want to be caught dead outside in my costume. I was relieved when Mom finally picked me up. I didn't want to be spotted by someone from school outside the dance studio. "Hey, hon, how was class?" "Fine," I mumbled, turning on the radio. She started driving home, and I noticed she missed the turn. "Mom, you kind of just passed where we live?" "Oh, I have to stop over at the market on the way, and I thought we could stop at the comic book store you like. I know you've been wanting to get a new art book." Crap. What was I supposed to do? If I told her I didn't want to go, she'd think it was weird. But if I didn't, I might run into my dream guy, dressed like a crazy person. I'm kind of tired. Psh, you just don't want me to see the boy you've got a crush on. "Mom, have you been reading my journal?" "I don't need to. You talk about him all the time." "Do not." "You're blushing right now." "Am not." "Have you learned his name yet, or is he still Mr. Dreamboat?" You have been reading my journal. Oh my gosh. Mom, Seriously, I've hidden this book in a super safe place since this conversation. But if you, or anyone else, is reading this right now, why? Why? My life isn't interesting at all, so just put the book down or don't. I don't care. Unless you're my mom. If you're my mom, stop reading now. Your green juice stinks. Yeah, it just got real. So close the book. So close the book now before more hurt feelings happen. Thank you. Anyways, so there I was at the door to the comic store. I'm gonna take a sip of water because I feel like I keep hiccuping. The hiccups are happening, and I think I just sprayed LaCroix in your general direction, so I'm glad that there's a phone screen between us. Alright, back to it. So there I was, standing at the door to the comic book store. Maybe my true love isn't even working today, I thought before opening the door. Not the case, never the case. Oh dear God, the look he gave me. I don't know if I'm gonna ever be able to go back. I don't think I'm ever gonna be able to go back. And on top of that, my mother ended up chatting him up. Or should I say chatting me up? I'm not sure if she was trying to be friendly or embarrass me, but it got weird. It got weird quickly. You're adorable. Oh my gosh, Barb would you look at this nice young man? Don't you think he's as cute as a button? I'd eat you up if I didn't think my daughter would disapprove. Ha 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 ha. I'm kidding. Facepalm. In that moment, we at least had one thing in common. Both our faces were the color of Superman's cape. I left feeling so stressed out, I could have cried. Even my new books couldn't cheer me up. My mom tried to assure me that she was hilarious and Mr. Dreamboat knew she was kidding. But I know she was lying. Now every time I go into the shop, he's gonna remember me as the girl in the weird clothes whose mom hit on him. Perfect start to a relationship. Alright, so that was chapter 1. We did it. We got through it. Mr. Dreamboat was my favorite reading mess up. I would love to know what yours was. So, let's see. I figured we would stream until about 7, and I would love to know if you have any questions, whether they're about the book, about writing projects, what I'm working on now, the rest of the story, the characters, inspiration, vintage clothes, I don't care. Oh my goodness, so many of you are hanging out. I'm so glad. Aww. Everybody's really nice. It's really funny getting back into Barbara's voice. I noticed as I was reading through it, I kept reading in first person instead of third person because, well, the last 2 manuscripts that I've written have been first person, as well as a couple of short stories, and it's such an active way to read, and I'm so used to it now because everything I've been writing has been first person present is what I mean. Oh yeah, there is a delay on my end, so it's going to take me a moment to get to them. What inspired you to write this book? So, it's a mild spoiler, but it was right before NaNoWriMo, and I had 2 ideas. One of them I thought I wanted to do was like a very serious fantasy story. And then we were driving, Matt and I were in the car, and I thought, wouldn't it be funny if someone was in a line for a convention, and they thought it was line for the bathroom, but it was really the line for something else, because at conventions there's so many different lineups. So That was kind of the jumping off concept. And other things I was inspired by were the books that I read as a teenager. I read a lot of diary format books. So The Princess Diaries, there was a really funny British series called Angus Thongs and Full Frontal Snogging. So it was that very off the wall, not necessarily realistic in emotions, but not necessarily realistic in scenarios, just like every possible thing that could go wrong would go wrong. And also just the difficulties of first friendships and being in high school and figuring all of that out. So that was some of the inspirations. Sierra asked, what was your favorite part about writing this book? And how was the writing process different from other books you've now written? Oh my goodness. So starting with the writing process, I think this was just so mad dash of a writing process. It was my first time ever writing a novel. I'd kind of dabbled in doing like short stories. I'd always been writing, but this was my first time writing with like that goal of having a finished novel that I could publish at the end of it. So I did a lot of the NaNoWriMo sprints and word prompts, and I really pantsed this novel. So if you're in the writing community, you probably know, are you a planner or a pantser? And pantser means you are flying by the seat of your pants. I did not plan a gosh darn thing in this book, and I think it still really worked out. I think for the zany nature, me just going into every new journal entry of Barbara's and saying, what could go wrong? What's happening here that I could just mess up a little bit and cause her a little bit of stress or a little bit of joy, you know? Maybe a scarecrow will fly through the window and she'll think it's a burglar. So just kind of a lot of what if questions. And what if my favorite part of writing the book, I think watching Barbara's character develop. So as you saw in chapter 1, she is very unsure of herself. She's quick to judge other people. She is reserved. She overthinks a lot. She doesn't really think that she's worthy of having friends, which is really sad. And I think that we've all gone through phases where we've been there. We've looked at a group of people and we've thought, if only I could be a part of that group. Like, I bet it would be so much fun just to be a part of a community like that. And she realizes that, one, she can be, and two, she doesn't have to be a background character in her own story. She can be the main character. She has everything she needs to be a protagonist. So watching Barbara's journey, I think, was my favorite part of writing the book. How did you choose the character named Matt? There isn't a Matt in this book. There's no Matts. Although if you do want to read a short story about my husband Matt, check out How I Met My Other. There is a short story called Cute Hat Boy and the Weird Girl, and that is how we fell in love in our first date. What advice would you give to aspiring YA authors? Gosh, I would say, one, just like, there's so many things I want to say and I'm trying to prioritize. Wait a minute, is that my husband popping in?
I don't know how delayed it is.
It's pretty delayed, but I appreciate it. Oh my gosh, wow, I just mentioned this book and it magically appeared. Ho ho ho. So this is the one that the story of how Matt and I met is in, if you want to check it out. How I Met My Other. But let's see, going back to the advice for YA authors, I would say the biggest thing that's probably helped me is having writing friends. Sierra, who is in chat right now, is one of my delightful writing friends. It's so good to have someone that you can check in with, who you can go to when you're feeling discouraged, bounce ideas. Raquel and the rest of the Writers Atelier team are also that for me. And it's nice. It's nice to be able to connect. We've been doing that virtually, where we've been doing Google Hangouts and writing together. And yeah, so find a community. Join Twitter. I know that seems like weird advice, but I'm not saying it as a way to self-promote. I'm saying it as a way to make friends. Like, find other authors who are writing things that interest you, cheer them on, and don't be afraid to be vulnerable and put yourself out there. And also, ideas sound bonkers. Like, if you have an idea for a story and you're like, that's too weird to be a novel, it probably isn't. So follow your inspiration. Don't be scared to jump into an idea that's kind of kooky. My grandma wants to know when I'm going to finish my romance in space. Good question, Grandma. So it is currently in editing. So it was with my good friend Taylor Simons. She is doing developmental and copy editing on it, and I will have that back sometime relatively soon. And I'm really excited. I know that, one, it's my first time ever writing in, like, I wouldn't call it sci-fi. I'd call it like contemporary, but in outer space. But I need to add a lot of those spacey elements into it. I need to do, I know some of the things I need to work on are a little more world building and like talking about what the scenery looks like, diving in deep to all of those things. But I'm very excited to get to work on that. I've had a lot of ideas bouncing around of how to make it stronger, and Grandma, whenever it's done, you will be the first to get a copy. I will print it and I will mail it to you, and I can't wait to share it with you because it turned out really sweet, you guys. I cannot wait. I cannot wait until the Dear Galaxy is the space novel. I can't wait till it's done. It's very cute. Do you have a favorite character and why? It's hard. I feel like every time I work on a new project, it's like the character that I'm currently writing becomes my favorite. And that's probably a good problem to have. I will always have, I'm always going to have a soft spot for Moni from A Girl Called Monster because I love her, the way that she views the world. She is very sweet and naive and has these fresh eyes and this, I love her vulnerability. But I also really like Susie from Dear Galaxy, the space manuscript. And I'm also working on a YA contemporary right now. That is a kind of road trip, runaway romance. And they're cuties. The main characters are Hayden and Percy, and it's loosely based, very, very loosely based on the concept of Hades and Persephone, and I mean that in the sense of like barely inspired, but there's some visuals and some parallels there that have been really fun to play with. So I got two books in the works right now. Let's see. Sarah's watching. Hi. Paige. Hi, Valerie. Oh, I might have, let's see. I loved that story. This was fun. Looking forward to your next books. Thank you, Tom. Do you have an author-specific book that you turn to for inspiration when you write? I'm trying to think of like a good craft book. I feel like a lot of the kind of inspiration and getting motivated comes from engaging with community and like talking and getting advice. I have found when I am working on writing romance, it is beneficial when I'm playing like romantic visual novels and dating sims. The Arcana is one of my favorites, and I like to not only play through them for the story, but also pay attention to the parts that make me get lost in the scene. So if it's like a scene that happens to be particularly romantic, what is it about the words that they're using and the pacing that's making my heart beat? So I feel like just in taking a step back in whatever I'm reading or the content I'm enjoying to see what's when I'm getting like very, very into something, what is it that's giving me that reaction, and how can I try to do that myself. I'm so excited to have a whole Paige Lavoie bookshelf someday. Aw, someday. That's really sweet. Val, I just woke up from a nap. Sorry I'm a little late. No worries. Let's see. Well, we've got a couple minutes left, so if there's any other questions, I would be super happy to answer them. But this has been, honestly, really delightful. It's been a while since I've read out loud, so thank you for putting up with all my little hiccups. Hopefully they were endearing and quirky and delightful, and they added to the experience. And I also just wanted to, once again, now that we're in the wrap-up stages, mention, hey, you know what's cool? Writing communities. You know what's super cool? Supporting writing communities. So make sure you check out Writers Atelier, support them on Patreon, and come to more of these events. Like I said, there is there's a lot of these scheduled. So follow the Writers Atelier page. I believe you can sign up for notifications for events, and you can see more fun work from other writers in the community. You would be great as a narrator for the audiobook. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I've tried a couple of times, and good golly, do I have to shout out anybody who narrates audiobooks? Like, what a skill. What a skill to have, to be able to sit and read for that long. And I understand that there's editing involved, but I don't know. Every time I'm reading, I notice every weird word pronounced, all of the things that I mess up on. But I'm so glad. Oh, Carrie just reminded me, Motivational Minutes on Monday. Yes, if you would like to see more of this face, follow Writers Atelier, because I make Motivational Minutes every single Monday. And on the Mondays that I don't make them, someone else in the community does. And they are very, very lovely. Raquel did a great motivational minute at the start of kind of all of the stressful news cycle that we've been in, talking about how we can use our writing as therapy. And I thought that that was such a wonderful video. Yeah, so definitely subscribe to Motivational Minute on YouTube. Subscribe to the Facebook page over here. Check out all of the upcoming events. And thank you so much for being here. Honestly, you have made my night. You've made this such a fun, like, chill experience. And I raise my can of sparkling water to you. Cheers, everybody. I hope that you have a very happy and safe weekend. Aw, lots of love hugs to you and Matt. Hugs to, everybody watching, if you would like a digital hug, it is yours. But extra special hugs to my grandparents and my aunts and uncles who are watching, and all my friends too. Seriously, so glad that you guys could make it. I really appreciate it. Cheers and good night, everybody. Oh, also, so bad at self-promotion. I'm just like, love yourself, take care of yourself, be safe. The ebook of confidence is on sale for 99 cents until Monday, and you can also support a local bookstore, Writer's Block in Winter Park. You can order from them online, and that is a great way to support the community as well. Good night, everybody, and thank you for watching.